All right, so we are here today with two more ambassadors to talk about the T, letter T in the word strong, which stands for trust. You guys have talked a little bit already before we started this video about some of the Bear 24 manners that might fit into that trust category. What are some things that you have come up with that are in our Bear 24 manners already that deal with trust?
Well, probably the 24th one, just be honest. That's probably the biggest one. Because,
Okay.
like, if you weren't honest, and, like, you would lie all the time and you get, like some sort of label that, you're lying all the time, then no one would really trust you.
And why is trust important?
So you can have friendships, and, if you didn't have any trust, that would be chaotic in the world.
I love that you said so you can have relationships. Because really, even your friendships, relationships with student and teacher, right? Between you and your own parents, between you and like a coach or something like that outside of school, those require trust too, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah.
What are some other manners you found that deal with trust?
I found when you go to the bathroom and you have to wash your hands after for like being clean and stuff. And that's really a big one right now because of COVID and stuff.
And who's trusting you to do that?
Our teachers
Who else?
and students.
Your friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and not spreading those germs around, right?
Yeah, they don't want to get sick.
Yeah, no kidding. So what are some other things that you might have found on that Bear 24? What about things like following classroom and school procedures or
Yeah, that's probably one too.
because people trust you with that too, right? Your teacher, number one, right? What do you think your parents expect from you? And I'm going to use the word expect instead of trust. But what do you think your parents expect from you when you come to school or you go in public and you are participating in things? What do you think their expectations are of you?
I think their expectations are probably one, to do your chores, two, to do what you're told, and three, just to be a good kid.
So really, that's trust, right? They
Yeah.
trust that you're going to do those things. I love you say doing your chores. How would that fit in at school?
Like finishing your work and have no missing work.
Yeah. Getting it done, right? They trust you to do the work, right? Okay. What are some other ways that you think trust impacts you every single day, whether you're at school, at home, or even out in our community? Let's say you go to Walmart, right? Like, how do you build trust with people? What do you do?
You can like be nice to people instead of like being rude, and that'll build trust up for people. They can think that people are like nice and stuff, and also washing your hands so they don't get sick, and not stealing.
And maybe even just small talk.
What do you mean? Tell me more about small talk. What do you mean by that?
Like, just having a little conversation with someone else. Because that's how you build up trust. Yeah.
You know, one of the things I see at school is a very similar idea where kids are on the playground, they're talking, they're having that small talk, but they tell somebody something that's kind of private. If you're going to be trustworthy, what is that person like? If I told you something that I wanted you to keep private, what would you do to show me that I can trust you? Okay.
So I'm thinking just, like, keep it a secret. Like that's, like, the only thing.
Do you think I would trust you to do that?
Depends. Like, if...
Well, think about it for a second. If I told you something that I wanted to keep kind of private, and I'll choose something that sometimes happens in schools. If I told you that I had a crush, that there was somebody in our class that I liked, would I want you to go tell everybody or keep that private?
No one would.
Keep it private.
Keep it private, right? You know, most of the time in schools, I don't think people really want that to go public, right? If I'm telling you something on the playground like that, that's between us as friends, because that is one way you build friends, right? And you kind of, it's almost like I don't want to say a test, but it's almost like you're giving me proof that you can be a good friend when I tell you small little things like that I don't want to be shared. And I know that I can trust you to keep those, right? What if it was something big like I was being hurt at home? Yeah.
I'd probably tell a trusted adult first.
Yes, I would hope so. Because sometimes, kids do want that stuff sometimes to be kept secret, right? But those are secrets that when it comes down to somebody's safety, we got to look out for those other people first. So, last little thought for you. Why do you think trust is so important?
I think it's important because, like, you get to, like, trust people, and how it's important is, like, if you tell someone, like, a secret or something, you have to, like, actually know if they trust you or not. And it's important because, like, trust is, like, all around the world. Sometimes it's not in one area, but sometimes it's in this area. And it's just really important to other people because they want to trust you and tell you stuff without you guys, like, telling anyone.
Right. You just know that you're going to be there for them, right?
Well, like, I think he kind of asked you like the, like why you need trust, because I heard you like saying trust a lot often. I think he meant like the definition or something.
No, so
Did
what do you think? It's up to you. You can interpret the question however you want. What do you think the definition is then?
I think the definition would be for someone to count on you.
Because trust is linked to our heart, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to turn this back to school for just a quick second. Because this one I see happen all the time. Your teacher's gone and there's a guest teacher in the classroom. Your teacher trusts you that day to do a lot of things, right? And I'm sure both of you with your experience, because you guys have been in school now for 6 years, because you're fifth graders, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've had 6 years of school. You've had plenty of substitute teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And you've probably had some days that went really well and there weren't any problems. Things went just awesome. Kids acted the right way. We got things done. It was productive, all this great stuff. And you've probably had days that were horrible, where the kids didn't follow the rules, didn't do what they were supposed to do. The sub got frustrated. Kids got frustrated, right?
Yeah, I remember in second grade.
Hold on a second. How do you suppose your teacher comes back and feels when they get the news that things did not go well? Because they trusted you. So how do you suppose they feel when they come back?
Well, it probably feels really bad. They probably would feel like untrustworthy.
Our teacher, I think, was sitting at home trusting us. And then when she got back, she's like, you're gonna have to, like, she said this in her mind, like, when she got back, she had to talk with us and said, like, you have to, like, earn my trust back. And when someone trusts you and doesn't, or not. So if someone trusts you and you, like, do the wrong thing,
Yeah, like betray their trust.
they, like, they'll not trust you. You'll have to build up their trust again.
And that takes a long time.
It can, yeah. And sometimes I think that we forget about is whether you're a kid in the classroom and the teacher was gone and comes back, or you're on the playground and you're telling somebody something you want them to kind of keep quiet, or you're just having small talk. When you break trust with somebody, you break that person's heart, right? So when your teachers come back and they ask questions or they talk to the class about how things went, sometimes we show that heartbreak and frustration, and sometimes we show it in sadness. But I think every one of us as teachers and adults towards our kids, whether that's me as a parent talking to you as if you guys were my kids, or whether it's me as a teacher talking to you as if you're my kids, it breaks my heart because I had this trust in you and you broke that. And so it breaks my heart. It makes me feel so sad and so bummed out that's the way you acted, or those are the things that you did, or that's the way you thought.
So that
I
means
wanted you
like
to be.
trust could be your heart, because like if you break your trust, that you could break their heart too.
I think so. And I think with that, we'll end our conversation on trust. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time.
Thanks.
It's awesome.